Marked hands. We're gonna do marked hands.
Um,
Such professionalism.
Shoot, I should have. Wish I hadn't shown those.
I didn't see it.
All right. So this one has like some interesting spots, I think, on every street. But then it also we talked about that little. We'll see. Well, anyway, here we go. So here we are. We are in the big blind. We got a 5x open. There is a poster over there in the cutoff.
Mhm.
Um, not too many hands on this particular 5x opener, but he has been somewhat active with these stats over 16 hands.
You're
So
in an
here's our
interesting spot.
here's our first decision. Broken stack up here.
Um,
What say you?
so have you had any posters at this table yet? Is this the first occurrence of a poster?
I don't recall. I've been here a while, but
Do,
I
do we know
don't.
anything about P4? I think it is.
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 hands. Like I said, he's been somewhat active over those 16 hands here.
Squeeze them.
The
Yeah,
5x
I think
has
that's
been the 5x is a large size at this table, but there is a poster, so it's kind of
yeah.
like
I think Sutton's right. I think 20 is good.
Yeah. He's a V60. Squeeze him.
And I also think there's one other consideration that you want to have here, and that is 25 is a problem, I think, because 25, I think if Broken Stack decides to jam it on you, if you go to 25 bigs, it's going to close the action to you.
Yeah.
right.
That's not what you want.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, if the broken
You-
stack shoves and the full stack behind you, you have to act. That's really awkward.
So if we go 20 here and it goes call jam, we can rejam.
Right. And we can go all the way up. We can go to 23, right?
Yeah, you can, I was
Yeah.
I think
But
it's
yeah.
somewhere in between 20 and 25, but
Right. Yeah.
So
we go
I don't know if a flat is okay. And my argument is that a flat is not ideal for two reasons. One, you're playing out of position against two players, right? In a multi-way pot. And
We can't go 20.
Why
It-
not?
We have to push it down to like 8. That is a consideration. Because of what he was saying is we want to be able to shove over the 42.
Yeah, no, 20 is fine. I mean,
So we
because
go
that's
20, we go 20. That's a raise of 15.
Yep.
That puts the pot at 20. You're right. We can go 20. I did it wrong. I put him another 20 of him. We can go 20. Yeah.
What if you have ace queen off? Fold?
ace queen's off a mess.
So
hmm,
What do you do with ace queen off? Well, what would you do in a, let's
Fold.
look.
Fold.
That's-
Just fold it. You'd fold ace queen to, no, you wouldn't. What am I saying? Sorry.
What would you do if, well, let's
Yeah.
look at this. What,
let's say I'll tell you this. I would never flat ace queen off here.
Right.
That's for sure. It would either be for 3-bet or fold it. But the ace queen, I felt like we can flat ace queen suited.
I think so.
And that's what I did. But I was torn. I was torn between raising and flatting. But it's such an early position raise up there is the issue.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah,
But don't
I'm okay with raising as well. I chose to flat here.
So
I prefer ISO, I think.
yeah. So here's the thing. Against that position, if it was a normal size, you would never fold ace queen in the big blind. Ace queen off. You'd play it. And you play it
Normal.
basically as a flat normally. Yeah. This is under the gun. This is under the gun.
Single
Low
raise.
jack -1.
To a single raise.
Yeah. To a single raise. You're not ace queen is a call there.
Yep.
It's one of your strong calls. When the other player comes in, it switches to a squeeze. I think, and then given the inflated pot. I think more important than the inflated pot is his 60 pre-flop. All right, well, now the game is easy.
Does it?
You're gonna, you feel the need, do you want to get P4 out or not? You're not folding. Ever.
We still have a player. Like, this
P4 is uncapped.
P4 is uncapped.
Say that again to me?
P4 is uncapped. P4 can still have aces.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, yeah.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, but this is why I like 3-bet better pre.
Yeah.
Like, we're just in such a crummy spot here.
I'm in the Sutton school here. You don't want, I mean, you want to invest pre-flop in an attempt to make this a heads up pot. It's worth the pre-flop investment of 20 bigs or 25 bigs or whatever in order to try to create a heads up pot. But we're here now, and so I think calling is fine. I mean, so there's a lot of calling that's gonna happen in the middle of the sandwich anyway, right?
Yeah, we can't raise, right?
Yeah, I think in the middle of the sandwich, you just call.
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is I think you hear silence, Mike, because you brought us a very interesting hand.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to do here either, so I did this. I don't know how this is any good or if this is bad.
What? Oh, check.
Well,
Yeah, I think this is definitely fine.
Do we really fold the flop to to the short stack
No,
lead?
we're not folding the
I
flop
don't.
top pair.
Nope, I don't.
Not top pair and 2 backdoors.
All right.
Okay.
That is the river. Oh,
All you can do is check, I think. Maybe you get the blocker here.
Oh, the old 7.
You- yeah, how about that?
Oh.
you did it. You did it.
Yeah.
So this is what we were talking about it earlier today. I remember had this hand like pretty recently. So, what do you think of this?
I actually kind of like it.
Yeah.
Very difficult to raise. Even if you have, like, I don't know, like ace jack or something. It's like pretty tough for them.
Master.
Because we could have like a king 10 of hearts kind of hand that might play this way.
I assume that you bet that in order to fold to a jam.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I folded.
What's he
The-
got?
He had a flush.
Okay. Which flush? What were his exact 2 cards? Yep, that makes sense.
This one
But
folds, sir.
Yeah, I thought all the streets were just kind of like, what the hell? But yeah, I was really torn pre-flop to 3-betting or just flatting it. Yeah, it was really hard to decide. And I'm with you. I typically would take the 3-bet side there. I just, for some reason, just took a big 5x from early position to decide to flat instead of the 3-bet, but maybe that's bad.
Maybe, yeah.
So here's the deal in GTO Wizard straight up normal ranges. Under the gun 2, raises, small blind calls. Your play there is Neapolitan. You You raise some, you call some, and you fold some.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, and I think that the inflated size doesn't change that very much. I'm gonna look and see. I'll push it up to 3 big blinds and see what it changes just with that algorithm when we do it.
I think you should also move the position back just a little bit because it's not a true under the gun spot. They were like 6-handed or 7-handed in this one.
No, he's not under the gun. I'm under the gun, low jack -1. I had him in the correct spot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not quite so early.
Yeah.
So it likes that to the normal 2x size. And then when you make it 3, 4, or 5, does this start to go down to call, or does it want you to 3-bet more often?
So what it does is it's 3-betting a little more often, and it's never folding, because to do that analysis, I had to put him in the low jack, not the low jack -1.
Yeah. So that's what you just did.
Yeah, I just did that. And what you get is you get more raises than calls, but it still mixes. It was a small blind call, wasn't it?
No, it was
Yeah, it was small.
It was small blind because you were in
Yeah, it
position.
was
You
small line.
were in the sandwich.
yep.
So the one factor that's not in this is that UTG had the opportunity to ISO a poster.
Right. Yep.
So obviously that changes our ranges a little bit.
It changes the range a little bit. Maybe he doesn't have the very bottom of his range, but more importantly, it makes it more expensive for us.
Yeah,
And then you have the weirdness of the broken stack and the small blind complicating it. And I
Yeah.
think all that, and then you have his 60 VPIP, all of which I think push you towards the 3-bet pre.
yeah, I think, yeah, I agree. Ooh, I got a hand. Unless anybody else wants to go.
Go for it, Larry.
And you were ace queen, were you ace queen suited or offsuit?
Suited.
Suited, I've been looking at offsuit. I'm an idiot that whole time. We were discussing offsuit. Suited, it's a pure call. Because it's suited.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we saw that. That's what I figured, but
And it's a call with the extra caller there, and it's a call at the beginning, bigger stakes, and at the smaller stakes, it's just a call.
So this hand goes to what our conversation was around, in the trainer, around thin value. So this is question of, are we able to go for thin value? Standard open, big blind flat, interesting flat. What are you guys doing here? What size?
check. I would check.
So this is low enough of a ace that we want to check, right?
Sure, you can put that in.
I can see that. I chose to bet. I think, yeah, I bet small. I'm
The
sure
board-
it makes sense.
The board's connected in a two-tone, that's fine.
Get a very interesting turn, very good turn. What size do you guys use here?
Big,
75 or bigger.
bigger.
125.
So I used to set B75. I like an overbet. I think this is a good overbet
50.
spot.
Like so many worse aces he could call you with.
Yeah,
Like flush draws. He didn't raise, so he doesn't have 2 pair a set here. Let's pile it in.
I think you've got that's a good adjustment. I do not have enough overbets in my game. This is a good spot for an overbet. I was like a
I mean-
B125 or B150.
Let them start asking why so big.
Yeah.
So this turn brings in a myriad of, he brings in a gutter and the front door. He checks. Can we value bet?
We can value bet, but you
bet
have to
fold.
fold to it, but you have to fold to a raise.
Yep. Can you bet fold?
Yes, I could definitely bet fold here.
All right. Well then. how
What
much
size would
would
you
a-
use?
How much would like
B60.
8-9 call?
So B60, B75?
Yeah.
Yep. I'd go
Yeah,
half
I
pot
mean-
B60.
Yeah.
Okay. I chose to check back.
Yeah.
But I like it. But I will say,
But look at So this, I think, actually sets up as a good hungry horse question. If you were bluffing here,
Mhm.
I don't know, with king
Yeah.
of hearts, 9 of X or something like that. I don't know.
I pot it.
On the river. See, I don't think that you have to. I think this is a spot where you can bet very small. Like I don't know. I mean, it's kind of around the ace. The ace complicates things a little bit, I think, because it's hard to make people fold an ace. But like, he has this 9-10 hand here with very marginal value. Like, if we just like breathe on this with a bluff, he folds.
Yeah, I see your point. So this is, so Hungry Horse would do what? Are we thinking he'd do like a B33 here? With
Yeah,
his no
something,
equity?
I don't know if it would be
I don't know.
B33, but because I think that he would say that, I think he would talk about like a B50 to a B75 here as the bluff.
Okay.
And then, but this also might, like, he has a third scenario that I'm not quite as familiar with. It's like if your value wants to bet mid, which this might be the mid.
Yeah.
And then you either want to blast with your bluff or go small. And I don't know any of those parameters at all.
I think you can go small if you have like a king high bluff here. I think you can still, well, see if you use a small bet, you're going to get called by an ace anyway, whether you go small or if you go 60, 75, right? You're going to get called by an ace anyway.
Mhm.
So if you go use your really low equity, no showdown hands whatsoever to go small, you're going to get better hands to fold that are going to fold like auto folds.
Yeah, I don't remember if I ran this in solver. I'm sure I did, but I don't recall if we get to value with this in solver. But I mean everything got there. It's kind of a tough spot, but we have two pair.
Yeah.
And he's gonna call us at some frequency with this ace X.
I think it also makes it easier for you to play if you bet really big on turn. Because like more flush draws fold out, right?
They shouldn't, I don't think, but yeah, you're right.
But I mean, if you have like, I don't know, if you have like, say you have 6, 7 of hearts, nah, maybe 5, 6 of hearts.
Yeah, maybe you start to fold.
You start thinking like, I gotta get out of here.
So yeah, I need to refine my sizing. I do like a B125 here. Or B150. I think that's a better sizing here. I think I autopilot to B75 too much in this spot, and I need to
When
take these spots.
So a couple of things that I think are good from Hungry Horse that have helped me a lot lately. And I
Mhm.
think the spot illustrates the turn is a blank. We had a very dynamic flop where if this guy has true value, like if he has 2 pair or better,
Mhm.
he's gonna raise that because there's lots of cards on the turn that are really scary.
That's a good point. He's gonna check raise flop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he gets to the turn, he is like capped. And so now really we don't really care about what our particular combo is here, but when betting, we can bet massive because we still have all the best nuts,
Yeah.
Mhm.
When we have ace queen here, we're still crushing it.
And we choose a lot of big bets on the flop, on this flop.
We do. Yeah, I like that line. I think this is definitely a place to incorporate an overbet.
All right,
All right,
guys.
guys.
I'll do a meeting. It's been a
Okay.
pleasure.
All right,
All
son,
right.
thanks for coming.
Yep.
Join
Talk
us
to you guys
next
later.
week.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Who else has a hand? I will stick one up here. Did I get cut off? What
No,
happened?
you're here.
No,
I'm here. Oh,
We're
yes.
with
So,
you.
yes, I'm launching Poker Tracker. Somebody can stick up a hand.
All right, I have one.
Do it.
Okay. I was just waiting
Skate,
for
did you
some,
not do your homework? Your live hand homework? We're gonna have
No,
to start, we're gonna have to start docking you points here.
Yeah, bring us hands.
yeah, I'm looking at the hands now just
Okay,
to see which
good.
ones are interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Our hero has aces. That's a good hand.
yay.
Gets flatted. Interesting spot. I think the heuristic is we check here our range.
Yeah, and I think aces is one of those hands that's that kind of a natural one to do it with, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times we look at solver in these situations too. I think this is a check range, actually, but we know that when there is mixed betting in the overpairs, aces are the ones that check at the highest frequency, but I think this is a check range spot, multi-way. Especially
might-
with a 5-6 available for a straight.
Yeah, and the club is nice too. I would start probably betting queens and below with overpairs, but checking aces like pure kings, maybe even, and then start protecting queens, jacks, and tens.
Okay,
Maybe, I don't know, but
yeah, that
that's
makes sense.
probably where I would fall in line in game. We get a B75 from the button.
We want to fold. What's the fold? Big blind. Big blind is the most likely to have 5-6. I I think you're in very much in, well, he made a big sizing here. Multi-way. That's gonna drive down your check raise frequency, but if you do have a check raise combo, I would imagine this is in there.
Hmm.
I think call's fine. He used a big sizing.
Never leading, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we get the fold. That's a horrible card. We don't get the fold.
Yep.
Would Joey fold?
It's not multi-way.
WJD.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not good enough. I can't fold there.
Yeah.
Although I felt like I almost should have.
But doesn't
Yeah,
he,
it's, sorry, go ahead.
isn't he gonna do this with eights, nines, tens, jacks, queens, and kings?
Yeah, we got a value beater, right? Like they can do this with some worse hands.
That's a good way to put it. We are still beating value.
Yeah.
So, what are his bluffs? Well, the first question is, do you beat value?
Maybe.
Yes,
Yes,
although,
see, there's value. You beat
does he
jacks.
bet, does he bet ace? So pre-flop was it, because I missed the very beginning. You bet and he called?
Yep. It went
Right.
like this.
Right, okay.
It went three-way.
Okay. Oh, it
Big
went
blind right
three.
there.
All right. He's got overpairs here still. This fits overpairs.
So so he's got two, what sixes does he have? He's got two combos of a6 suited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Three
and
combos of 6-7 suited.
three combos of 6-7 suited. And then if we did combinatorics, he's got, I don't know,
He's got pocket sixes.
he's got pocket sixes, yeah. But we checked what missed, right? So we're blocking the most obvious club draw, which sucks, but
Yeah.
But we are beating value, beating,
And what's the value we're beating?
we're beating less now, but you know, we are beating jacks. We're beating
Yeah.
like,
Jack's just flatted pre-flop.
yeah, good point. Not all the time.
Unfortunately,
Um, A 10, like a 9-10 of clubs we're beating.
ready to. Ooh,
And he's not giving you an atrocious price. I mostly call here. I mostly call.
You have to win 1 out of 3 and a few, 3 and a few to win. You know, 1 in 3.5 times.
I mostly call.
Folded. I folded. Yeah, and I'm with Archer. I was not. It was not a hard decision. I did fold, and I was like, well, it sucks, but
Yeah.
even
Oh, he has those 6s.
And he could just have the 6s. Nice fold, sir. Very disciplined.
Good job.
the fold of a lion. No,
It's the fold of a lion. That's right. To use that is Peter Clark. Peter Clark just joined the chat, guys.
All right.
but yeah, that was
Yep.
uh
There you go.
That was painful.
Very good.
Well, you made a really disciplined fold, which I wouldn't have found.
Yep.
I got a donker hand.
Okay.
Oh, Scotty's good. Go ahead,
Do
sorry.
do this one and that one. All right. It goes to 3. Ace 4 suited should be a 3-bet a lot, but not, is it pure against the button? Yeah, this should just be a 3-bet. I should be 3-betting this. Did I
yeah,
know?
me too.
that? I didn't. I didn't know that at the time. It's an older hand. Seems like a good check raise candidate.
That's the first thing I would think. Yeah, especially against that sizing.
We like that.
Katrine,
Okay.
yes, Katrine Spang Hansen.
You turned additional equity.
Yeah, I know. So that means I can continue to bet.
I think you generally will continue to bet.
That's bad. And now,
Huh.
unfortunately, I can't, now, I was even thinking of going, now I can't bluff anymore. Because I've hit something, but. Yeah, I can't say that I block 2 pair. Yeah, there's nothing to say about this.
It seems like it
Just
seems
have
like
to,
a pretty easy fold.
just have to
Yeah, I
fold.
think it's to give up.
We just have to fold.
I mean, he can bluff you, but I mean, you just can't call, can you?
Yeah, and that's surprising.
That is a very, very thin.
Then, but
Is
he
he
was right.
turning that into a flop?
Did Scotty just real quick recap the action? Flop went what?
Check bet raise.
So okay, check. He bet small and then you raise to what? Go back to it. Okay.
That's a healthy, that's not a big, it's not a big check raise, but it's a healthy check raise.
It is.
It's not quite pot.
It's interesting. What's your equity here? So this is like the classic 33% spot.
Yeah.
Gutter plus flush draw and an over.
If I jam this river, I think that I get a lot of calls from him.
He's blocking the backdoor flush.
I have flush draws, I have front door flushes.
Well, this player profile, I would argue you're going to get high frequency called because he clearly is overvaluing his pair of 9s here. After you've,
Yeah, after doing that,
after you came at him with significant aggression.
I don't think that's a bluff.
I don't think he's ever folding his combo.
That was mine. All right.
But if you play on a site, this is a guy who's, I would argue, is overvaluing top pair.
Yeah.
All right, I got a donker one. You guys
Okay.
want to see donking in action?
Of course.
All right, I think I kind of use Nuffle here. I think. All right, we RFI, we get flatted.
So first of all, flat from the small blind, do you have any reads on this guy? Because that small blind flats are always interesting. It's very player dependent for me on what ranges I assign to them.
Yeah. Just trying to maybe. No, I don't have any. Don't have any information on this guy that I recall, unfortunately. But I
I
think
think-
flats are important, right? So you're right. I mean, so the first thing is we can classify him as a recreational because he's flatting the small blind versus button. And beyond that, yeah, I don't have anything, but we can,
Yeah,
we,
versus
and then,
unknowns, I will typically just put them into a recreational bucket and kind of go from there
yeah.
until they prove otherwise.
So I did invoke, my very limited understanding of Nuffle in this hand. So he bet, so I think.
Yeah.
I think in Nuffle world, we're never gonna raise here.
We never
Definitely
raise.
know where it is.
And also in poker logic, this hand just makes a lot of sense to just call.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he bet of like a donk of B50, right? So
Yep.
that's our first, we've got sizing is, I think, somewhat important here, if I recall. Okay, so that's brings in some of his bluffs. B50s again.
Easy call now.
Alright, so I invoke the Nuffle world, right? Nuffle says in this spot. But I'm not sure if we're supposed to do that when we have value, but Nuffle says. We go to 18. I don't know what I do. I go to 18.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I don't know. I don't think you get to do that in Nuffle World, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I went to 18.
I'm looking at it right now. Do you want to know what you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Supposed to call. The only
Oops.
time you're raising is when you have really strong values, such as an overpair or better.
Okay. But this is medium value, we'd say on this.
Yes.
And
Oh,
so this is
sure.
a call. Okay.
Yeah. And Arturo asked a question, he didn't mean on this particular hand, he meant in general from the Nuffle flow chart, which is something from Brad, not Hanson.
Wilson.
Brad Wilson. It's a Brad Wilson thing that we talk about that we have not yet really examined, but it's how do you combat against the pre-flop donks on flop.
Yeah, but like, look, do you think there is like enough value to raise on the flop and triple barrel?
There's
You
enough
can,
value to risk the
I just
flop.
don't think you need to. I think that I think that you're in position. You can let him continue to bet his bluffs. Sometimes he has two pairs and you keep it smaller and you get value from everything worse. You raise,
So,
he folds too much of it.
so what about this king? You also call?
Yeah, I think this is probably better. I think Nuffle
Yeah.
probably has the right line here. Is that we
Yeah.
just call? I mean,
Sure.
we want to keep in his wide range of bluffs here, which
Mm.
probably around hearts. We've also got an open ender.
What do you mean he's never folding hearts on the flop? Maybe
I'm not saying he's gonna
better.
hold farts. Hold fart. I'm not. I'm not saying he's gonna fold hearts. I'm saying that a better line probably is just to call here, as opposed to what my imposition raise was.
So do you call to pair as well?
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Do you call to pair on the flop as well?
Yeah, I did call. I called
No,
my
two
pair on
pair.
the flop.
That's two pair call on the flop. If you, I'll
In
write it
position?
down. Yeah,
Yes, we do. Because we have got so much equity and he's dunking into an uncapped range. So we do call with two pair.
I don't.
Because
Doesn't
we're
make
in
sense
position,
to
we
me.
can always rate, because we can always bet, no streak can go by without a bet if we don't want it to.
Yeah.
Why?
So in Nuffle world too, we would call a set of aces here. We would call everything here in Nuffle world on flop. Because
In-
he's betting into an
Like
uncapped
7, 8.
range, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
we can choose to attempt to bluff him off this in the future, or we can choose to get value from the very top of our
So-
range.
Are we calling sixes, pocket sevens on the flop?
In
Yes.
Nuffle world, yes, although we might not do it. We're gonna call 5, 6 of spades here in Nuffle world just on the ability to do a pure bluff when he gives up his donk.
The piece that I think that is important to remember here is that he's choosing to donk into an uncapped range. I could have aces. Right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he's
I'm
ch-
not saying anything. I just like he's not good, and I just want to figure max V line and
Yeah,
like-
yeah. So Nuffle is like this. Is a
No,
flow
he's
chart, and it
balancing.
says essentially that we're calling our
balancing.
entire range on
Yeah.
flop because we are going to have opportunities to bluff him off most runouts, mostly depending on bet size. I think it's safe to say the Nuffle formula is based on hand strength combined with villain bet sizing. So I chose to raise here. Now get to river. And the question becomes, with this three, he checks. Can we value bet considering our highly filtering choice of our highly filtering imposition raise on turn?
I don't want to bet here.
No. No betting.
And if you bet, it has to be half pot and fold to a raise, and I don't want to
Okay.
bet.
Pure
So this
check.
is, go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry, I just said pure check, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we don't, I think after we put in quite an aggressive in position raise on turn, we don't get to value bet here because his range is so heavily filtered. There's a straight available and a flush available. I mean, he might be checking back his straight here that he was slow playing when the flush comes in.
Yeah.
So I choose to check back.
But if you
Yeah.
just, but if you had not raised the turn, if you had called the turn,
That was my question, yeah.
then you can bet the river for thin value.
Yeah. And he wouldn't have called.
Now, do
But-
you want to hear the Nuffle? Well, of course you don't get here in Nuffle world. You don't get to this situation. So it doesn't really apply.
Well,
Yeah, but
let's say
what-
we took
what
Nuffle
play?
and then we chose to call turn.
Yeah.
Is this good enough to value bet Nuffle world?
If he checks.
If he checks here on a call line. Okay, got it. So,
And you would bet your medium value, you would actually bet small, 30%
On the river or on the turn?
on the river. On the river.
Okay.
I think this definitely comes into medium value territory on this front out. Do you guys think this is medium value here?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is medium value.
For sure.
Okay.
It's not strong value.
So facing a river check here. We beat 30. Interesting. Okay. Thanks, guys.
I think you just misapplied the Nuffle strategy on that raise on the turn.
Yeah, I classed my hand on the turn. My hand is medium value. Where I think I'm gonna do that with my trash, right? And I'm going to do that. My play I'm gonna do with trash, and my play I'm gonna do with the very top of range.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. If you had trash, if you had air, no pair, no draw, you would raise pot. And if you had strong value, which would be, in this case, two pair plus.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, hang it back to the masses.
And he gave you more money than your strategy deserved.
True. I
Again-
misplayed it to a more profitable run out.
Yeah, because had you played it the other way, it's possible he would have bluffed the river and that would have been fine. You would have called him. But given your play, you gave him every opportunity to play correctly and fold, and he chose not to.
Yeah.
All right, what you got, Mike?
Oh, you want another one? Here we go. Let's get this one. Share. I was questioning this one as well. Here we go. All right. Easy 3-bet.
Yes,
Yeah, pure.
100%.
Fold 4.
So, a lot of hands on him.
Mhm.
Aggressive, good player, good, like seemingly good.
Yeah. What's his
Uh,
3-bet percentage?
11.
Yeah, this is a
Right.
good player. This feels very, those are very like uh pro stats.
Yeah.
Good rig stats.
Do we just always fold?
What is, I mean,
We
what do we
fold.
do in solver?
I didn't know at the time. I've looked at this since,
And
but when I was playing, well, here's what I was thinking. We can show it. We can see it afterwards. But I did call, flatted in position, suited ace, big suited ace.
Interesting flop.
oh no, we flopped something. This is terrible.
I know.
He
Oh.
chooses the check. That's an interesting life choice.
Yeah, that was very strange. I was not expecting a check. In fact, I was trying to figure out, oh shit, how big of a bet can I call? But he
S-
checked.
Yeah, so I bet if we solve this, he's gonna have 10% checks.
Yeah.
So the first question I ask yourself is, can you call a check raise?
No.
Okay, then I think I check back because you've got a lot of equity to realize.
Because the check raise is gonna be a jam, right?
Could
Yeah.
be. Now, if we do this, it's kind of a big, is that a big check raise? Like, is that too big to make? Does it make a check raise too
No.
inefficient?
No, that's perfectly fine. You're gonna have to, but you're gonna have to fold to a check raise, or you're gonna call it with your equity. I think you're gonna fold. Because your gut shot and your one over doesn't count.
Yeah. Well, it went like this. Arthur, stand by. Let me reset it. And this was this discussion that we had here, what we should do with this. I think most of us are just folding this.
I think
And
it's a call.
yeah, and I wasn't sure at the time. Very aggressive, good player here in the big blind. Very aggressive, good player. But we decided to do that, and we got this flop. He checked. We bet a third, a little less than a third. And he folded. So that's all it went. But I was really curious
Wow.
about pre-flop and flop.
Yeah, so the first question I'd ask myself is, can we withstand a check raise? And if the answer is no, then I'm probably checking this back. But I'd be interesting to see you run this in solver. This is a very interesting spot. And a very interesting combo. I mean, we don't see this very often in game.
So his opening raise size was, I think 2.5.
Yeah, ace jack suited, pure raise. Now his 3-bet was bigger than,
Oversized.
yeah, it was 23 or 24.
Yep.
So
Important
our
thing to see that the
jack,
art of fire does not have any calls.
Yep, okay, so it's not trivial.
yeah, I thought in study, all the days of studying, I thought that it might be included in a flat range.
Yeah.
But to the bigger size, that's what really kind of made me go, whoa, what do we do?
If it's
Yeah.
if it's a good fold at the regular size, it's a better fold at the bigger size, and it is
Right.
fold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And this is what we got. Larry, I think your prediction is right. I think he's just going to range bet king 10-4.
Yeah, I think I mean, he's repping such a strong range here. And it's a king high board.
100%. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just right. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy. But
So this is a broader question. So in a situation where someone, question for the group, in a situation where villain should be betting range and we know it, which is right here. But they choose to check. What does that imply about their range? I'm not sure I know.
I think it implies that they don't have the same opinion, assumption as you do.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
doesn't yet define the range. They're not saying this is a range bet board, but I don't want to bet my range. They aren't having the first thought.
Yeah,
They're looking at this board and my hand, and so, oh,
they're just going with absolute hand strength.
well, yeah, I have ace king. I want to go for a check raise. I have pocket nines. I don't want to bet here.
Yeah. Okay.
No, and you're going to find out after your bet which one of those it is.
So we should, when they do check, solver wants to just check our hand.
Yeah.
Wants to check like everything almost, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have. The only thing it's betting, it seems, at a high frequency are the tens, right?
And the aces.
And even aces are like around 50%.
Well, we are clearly protecting our. Can we look at breakdown real quick? We're super protecting our checking range. Yeah. We're just protecting our checking range because we're checking so much here. So we've got to protect our checking range in solver with very top of range. I liked your bet though. I think it made sense. His check made no sense.
He had something like deuces or something like that, like something weird. Yeah, deuces.
So he's okay. So that whole thing about Rig, just forget that. What was your 3-bet frequency at this point? Was he trying to exploit you? No.
I mean, maybe.
3-bet of 7? No.
No, yeah. I mean, if you were like at like 18, maybe he was trying to. He was thinking your 3-bet range was wide, but it's not the case. It's an interesting hand.
And it explains his larger than normal 4-bet. If in fact that's larger than normal for him. So
Good point.
doesn't explain anything yet. Okay.
Who's next? I got one.
And Arthur also nailed the bet sizing. 10% is like what solver really prefers there. 10%. If we bet when he checks.
I have a thin value spot, which I think you guys are going to. I think the word is excoriate is the term, if I'm not mispronouncing it.
That's a good word.
What's the word?
Excoriate.
Excoriate.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Are more aggressive, criticize.
You mean really shit on you?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, really shit on it. I think that I think that this is too nitty, maybe, but you guys can tell me. So I think we can do either with this. I think poker coaching does flat here. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with flatting here with this combo.
I think there's some flatting there as well in GTO Wizard.
Yeah, so I flat. He's using a bigger sizing too.
That's what I'm checking right now for you.
Yeah, I think we're mostly flat. I think we mix. Well, I think
GTO Wizard barely mixes the ace queen. It's all raises. There's a sliver of calls.
yeah.
Versus
So
versus
Against
2.5?
no, against 3. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
5, it
I
changes.
study the 2.5 and I'm pretty sure ace queen is the only offsuit combo that we get to call.
Yep. Yeah. At 2.5, using the same algorithm as the same assumptions as three big blinds, it's about 75% raise, but it's still got a, it's a healthy call. The other one's a sliver. 34% call is the exact number.
Okay, so this flop, he bets. We're clearly never folding, agreed.
Yep. What, yeah, and we can't raise, right? Nope. I think we're good calling.
Again,
Yeah.
I don't think you-
Yeah, this is, I think, clear fold. Anybody folding here?
No,
Hello. Got the nuts.
no, we don't. But we,
Oh,
But
we
we have-
don't have the nuts, you're right, sorry.
we have
Uh,
a hand.
we have the nut blocker, that's what
Yes, we do.
I'm, second nut blocker. You choose this sizing, anything you guys do other than call?
Hmm.
So there is there are two reasons to raise here. That are, I mean, the reasons to call make total sense. Two reasons to raise are a heart on the river shuts him down.
Yeah,
So 1 in 5 times that 1 in 4.5 times he shuts down here.
Yeah, I'm in favor of a raise now, but I don't know if that's like, theoretically great or not. Because look at all the worst hands he could have that can call you.
yeah. Well, he's got lots of, so I wonder if is the king and jack of hearts on the board make a difference, but he still has ace. So what offsuit ace hearts does he have? He's got,
All of everything down to
ace jack and
he's
ace
got-
10,
Yeah.
right?
he
He's
has
got
he,
ace jack and ace 10.
he shouldn't have ace 9. He should have ace 10 at full frequency.
You can
He's
have
got
ace,
ace
10,
10. Go ahead,
ace,
sorry.
ace jack, ace queen, ace king with a heart.
He also has a lot of ace king here. With the
You can
heart.
have, you can have sets. You can have two pairs.
He has every set.
I like the imposition raise here. I think you guys are right. I think this just raise, good.
He has some king 10 if he's playing GTO wizard. He has no he has some king jack, but he has no jack 10.
So, yeah, so I think you got it. And I think our queen of hearts is important. I'd rather have the ace of hearts, obviously, but queen of hearts is good enough, I think, to raise. What size would you use?
Small-ish. Like
21.
not pot. Yeah, 21.
Okay.
22.
Okay, I like that. I think that I was too nitty in this hand. I called paired board. Flushes in. We got the straight.
How big does he bet? 15? You can raise a 15, I think.
Okay,
I think.
okay,
And
so the question I would have with the raise
Okay.
is,
Yeah, and you're gonna ask the same question I'm gonna ask Larry.
what's called?
What's gonna call you?
So a set now beats us. We're blocking the flush. He's gonna have to want to call with the 2 pair plus. I'm sorry, 2 pair.
well, the weird thing
Two
about
pair-
the 2 is that is the how the threes counterfeit some of the 2 pairs. Like
That's a very good point.
your ace,
Actually, every pair he has is 2 pair. Good point.
Well,
just-
but I mean, he could
got-
still have like top two, like king
Yeah,
jack, and king 10,
jack,
and
king 10,
jack.
queen ace king here.
Yeah, I get a little confused in these spots, frankly, and I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah.
But do you guys think this is a clear value raise? This is a missed opportunity? Scurriate me.
I think it's a good raise. I don't think it's a terrible call. I think it's a good raise.
Okay. I think I call here. But I think that, okay, let me ask you this question. If you do raise in position, what's your sizing?
It may end up being jam. Let me look.
Yeah, I mean, if you make it 45, then he jams over the top, you just folding. I mean, you can't really, right?
Yeah. Pot odds are weird.
What about a click back?
Yeah, this is, saying we got to raise is one thing, but saying
No,
Can we fold? I don't know if I could fold this hand with the flush blocker.
you have no full house blockers.
That's a good point.
And
Paired
he
board.
has. He can have two combos. He shouldn't in GTO world have two combos of king three suited, but he might.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's the sets.
So are you guys, so
Ugh.
do we click it and then fold to a shove? Is that our best player?
I don't
We
know.
go like
That's
30,
great.
30, 35? Fold to a shove?
Yeah, I'm now agreeing with you that it's easy to say raise, and then when you think about your size, you
Yeah.
go, I guess I'm checking. I guess I'm calling.
Well, that's where I got. I got to a call and he had two pair, and so this is why I brought this up.
Yeah.
It's very, does he call? Well, I mean, he'd have to, I would argue that if we raise him, he'd have to be a bad player to call with that combo.
on the turn. The turn is when the raise is when we were advising the raise.
And so I think that is the right way to go. I think the turn, so he's gonna call the turn.
Yep.
Because he can still improve to a bow.
Yep.
So he's gonna call. I think the turn raise is the best choice.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, good hand. I think that was good.
Yeah, I was interested.
Okay. There we go. Raise, 3-bet, call. In position, I flopped the giant nothing.
Yeah. Do we know anything about villain?
His name is 18 and
Yeah, I think you can better check.
he is, we have 13 hands on him. 23-15.
Yeah, I agree. I think we could better check. I think checking's fine here.
In the old days, I just did a sort of 3-bet c-bet, and that's what this was. But I think maybe check and grit your teeth because it's marginally made is better. But there's the bet. There's the call.
So
Did he check?
Yeah, he checked.
Yeah, I think he checked behind.
Yeah, against his filtered range, which now, by the way, has all of his, he has his straights, some straights come in, and the straights that don't come in, most of them, a pair just came in.
yeah, good point.
7-9, yeah, if he, every 9-10, 10-jack, and 9-jack that he decides to proceed with,
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking about his range.
out there. That card is a brick. That is a half pot bet.
So what are his pure bluffs? None of them. We just said like,
Backdoor, so so every straight draw has something. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean they all bet, but every straight draw has something. And backdoor flushes don't have to have anything.
Jack 10 is a straight. Ace, like ace, jack of clubs, ace, jack of diamonds.
All
That's all I
those,
can come up with. Ace, jack of clubs, ace, jack of diamonds, ace, jack
Jack.
of spades.
the king jack version of them, the king 10 version of them,
Yeah, yeah. King,
all,
jack.
all those backdoors can bluff here.
I think that your reasoning on turn around his continues with the straight draws is important. I think that it's a fold.
Now, how do you play it better so that this doesn't happen? Maybe you don't. Maybe this just happens.
So how do you play this better so this doesn't happen? Well, the answer is that you use aggression on turn. That you ignore your reasoning around his straight draws, unfocus on one portion of his range, and continue your aggression.
And if you play the other way of you check your marginally made hand on the flop and you call on the, and if he bets the turn, you call.
Well, then it depends on what his flop size is.
Yeah, it depends on his flop bets. on
I'm
his
sorry,
turn
Riverside.
And whether he follows up on the river. Yep.
Yeah.
But in this particular case. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, think about like, if we were to count the combos, right, you can call the river. Calling the river, it wouldn't be out of the question.
Yeah, call the river. If he doesn't bet the turn, it's easy to call the river.
He
It's
didn't
easy to
bet
call
the turn.
one. But this is after not filtering his flop. If it goes check,
Right.
check.
Turn went check, check.
If the flop goes check, check. And then this goes check. We could solve this. Let's solve this.
All right.
Yeah, and then you just call the river, and then you just call one bet on the river. If you
Yeah,
get,
because like you named them all, Scotty, you went through them all. Like what do they say? These drowning in like unpaired overcard, like gut shot, like the king jacks, the king tens, the king, that stuff.
yeah, the back doors.
The ace jacks, the ace tens, those, all those, yeah.
He's in low jack and you're in hijack, right?
He is in low jack, I'm in hijack, and that's all that happened. Yep, nice, normal.
All right, let's solve it.
Roll. And he opened, and if you have the, if he gave us a three big blind open, but I don't think we have that solvable. Yep, so we'll do it this way.
I don't think Solver's gonna have ace jack suited here.
Because he's gonna fold it, or because he's gonna
Yeah.
fold it.
No, he's gonna fold them, I think.
Jerk.
No, he calls his suit combos.
Does he? Out of
Yeah, I
position?
mean, you called your suited ace jack to a cold four.
Yeah, but it was in position.
That's a good point. That's a
see.
very good point. All right.
I mean, I think Solver will four bet that ace jack suited before it calls it.
Let's see.
Well, let's look. You three bet, expect to him. Yeah,
Nope, there he is. He's mixes them.
Yep.
it's a mix. It's definitely a mix.
His hand goes much better if he four bets his ace jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so we get the flop. And he sure checks. I'm really curious here real quick, who has more queens? You've got more queens. Okay. That's important. I always am a little bit paranoid that out of position has more queens in situations, just not the case. Okay, so a little poker PTSD on my part.
So here, hey, before you check what ace king of hearts does, make a prediction. What's your?
Okay.
I predict that it's. I think having hearts, which is the Badoogie suit here,
Yeah,
that's less often than if you had clubs, diamonds, or spades.
I
I-
agree. Go ahead, Scotty.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that we bet more with backdoors.
It
Oh,
doesn't
sure.
here. Okay,
Never checking.
right. It's just a range bet. Fine.
Interesting.
Click on the ace king though, and let's see if there's a difference in the large sizing. Yes. You need the heart, you want the diamonds, hearts, spades to go to the larger size.
Try to generate a fold.
You're allowed to, and ace king offsuit is the one that checks the most. It's just a,
So you just must have, even though his range is filtered.
Yeah.
You just have a massive range advantage here, right? Look at that. You can, not massive, but you have some.
So we bet and our bet size is 33.
Okay. So. You bet, and you chose the right size. You put like a B33, right?
That B33, that was right. Good.
His ace jack
Can
is
call.
mostly folding.
Yep, but he can call.
He can call. Which combo did he have?
Clubs. This would have gone better had he folded.
So this is important to see. I didn't know this is such a, I didn't know you're folding the back door as much as this.
Yeah.
Your ranges are just, it's just, I think it's because it's a very, it's a very condensed spot.
Yeah.
Low jack versus hijack. He calls.
And the 6-8 is really good for you for the rest of your range. That's why you can fold your ace jack
That's a good point.
because you call all the suited connectors and this just slams into suited connectors.
So the 9 comes, he donks it. It's so, this 9 is so good for him. He loves to donk here.
Right. And he donks his ace jack even.
He donks his ace jack.
And he says, so since I can donk everything else,
Once again, stick this in your silver and smoke it. I'm not finding this play. Anybody
No.
finding this play?
no,
So this must be driven by what is now shifted to a clear nut advantage, right? Yeah, here it is. This nut advantage now.
no, but oh yeah, that's him.
He's yellow.
Nut and range. He just owns everything.
So
Filters.
straight. He just,
Yeah.
even though he's only got one straight, it's a straight you don't possess,
Mm-hmm.
which is driving this.
Yeah.
He's got the clear nut advantage because you just don't have straight. You don't play this with Jack 10 suited.
Yeah.
Okay. But he does, we're not gonna break it. Well, we are gonna break it, but let's just go forward.
He does have
Check.
check. Doesn't have this hand checked. So this is fine.
And so, yeah, you're mixing at this point.
And
And you're mixing,
but not with my combo. My combo is 100% check back.
No.
Thank
you had hearts.
Oh, I have hearts. The heart king.
Mhm.
It's clubs that don't do it.
You do
Okay,
have hearts and you do have a big heart, but in
Right.
this combo, you had hearts.
right. Yes.
So you're mixing, but you do. So this is what we were saying, right?
Yeah.
Your question was, how do we avoid getting bluffed off the better hand? And our answer was, well, F the 9.
Yeah.
Clearly you understood this hand is, the 9 was good for him,
Mhm.
and solver, confirms. F the 9 and continue your aggression.
Yeah.
And the answer is continue your aggression.
Right. When you do that. Okay. And
And
when
B75.
yeah,
So I
and when
think the important thing maybe here is to understand what sizing is, and the sizing really is, you can simplify it down to a B75.
Yeah.
And so as played, checked. Brick, 4 hearts.
Mm.
Now the question becomes, at what point, with his bluffs, he bluffed the other part here that maybe is an indicator for me that, King Concerto, our long lost King Concerto put it out.
Mhm.
Is that he always read this B50 as being bluff heavy.
Okay.
Now, whether you want to say that's just like rumored MDA, but I liked it. I think it makes sense. It's kind of non-committal B50. He doesn't even use that size.
He has no hand that is less than a pair. I don't see no hand. What is his no pair? What does he have? There we go. Those are them. He has king, jack, and king 10, and he bluffs them.
It's ace 10, ace king.
Oh yeah, ace king, but ace king is a good hand.
Okay, let's do this. Let's
There we go.
let's just do this a better way. Gotcha.
Yeah, his
But the bigger question is, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so he virtually never has the king 10, king jack. His
Yeah.
ace king, while it is trash, is what I have. And so it's basically ace 10.
Yeah.
And which he turns into ace jack. Okay,
Also, I mean, you could see the percentages here, right?
it's a good fold. Yeah,
So he 10%, he gets here with 10% trash.
with his ace king off. Okay.
Okay, so question is, can you bluff catch with this? And we're gonna give him, he doesn't use this, it's gonna break the solver, but we're gonna try.
Yeah, his size was half pot.
And you are folding.
Yep, all right.
What other sizes does he have here? This might be unsolved because, not solved well because he doesn't use this size.
Yeah.
What are the sizings does he have here? Let's, how would it be 86? Let's see what he does. 86. We might get a different answer because, no, just fold. It's good fold.
So here's an example of where, studying in the solver is not parallel to the real world. Because
Yes.
we see he has ace jack. Scotty, like you had mentioned, he could easily have those kings, those
Mhm.
the unpaired kings and all that sort of thing. So that would make a call better. Solver, of course, is folding ace king because he doesn't have all that other junk that this guy has.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the other point is that I would say is, I think you've got red line instincts. I think your instinctual game is a red line game. Looking at your graph months ago.
My success, that is what my actual game is.
And so, maybe it's not best to let solver change the game that works best for you. Solver is checking back here, right? I mean, and we also know that solver is using another bet here. right?
Yeah.
So, the easy answer is just YOLO it.
And the thing that I wanted to do is not solver approved, which is check the flop. That's the thing. That's the main thing that I took away from this.
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
Check the flop solution is not solver approved. That doesn't mean it's not good, but it's not solver approved.
And I think that's driven by the fact that we've got very, very tight ranges. So,
All right. Monday, let me stop the recording so we can swear. Bye, everybody.